Hey, what is up, guys? So we're going to be taking a look at a bunch of new cards coming out in Breakers of the Shadow, courtesy of the YGO organization. But anyways, let's go and jump into it. A bunch of new cards, some of them for structure decks, some of them from the new set. But let's go and check out the first card that I want to talk about, which is Azneyes Gravity Dragon, a new ritual monster for the Azneyes archetype, and you can basically mix it in a lot of stuff once you see the ritual. But anyways, 2800 attack. It can be ritual summoned by Azneyes Advent. You can only use the first effective at once per turn. But anyways, when it is special summoned, you can return all spell and trap cards your opponent controls to the hand. Your opponent can't activate any cards or effects in response to this effect's activation. And then, to top that off, your opponent can't activate cards or effects except by paying 500 life points. One quick thing that I want to do with this is mix this in with the Azneyes Flare Metal Dragon, and then maybe start running Chain Energy, Dark Room of Nightmare. Every time my opponent activates a card, they're going to take like 2,000 damage. It's really trolly, it's more of a cheese thing, but I definitely want to try it out for fun. Anyways, the ritual spell is actually really good, basically like a different version like a Shaddoll Fusion. Anyways, so you can ritual summon one dragon type ritual monster from your hand or graveyard by trading pendulum monsters from your hand or side of the field who combine levels equal to or greater than. But the thing that makes this good is if your opponent controls 2 or more monsters while you control no monsters, you can send one Azneyes monster from your extra deck to the graveyard instead of tributing monsters, and then you get a bounce back. It's just awesome. This card definitely makes the deck much more viable. There's other Intermage slash Performapal support. They're actually pretty darn good. I know that like people make jokes about the Performapals, including myself, but the support they're getting just makes them out of control. Like, it's just like, oh, you get to search stuff. The lady, oh, it's not a lady, but I think it's like a, what is it? It's a turtle, but it's got like a little present, it's got a hat on it. The face kind of looks like a mosquito. Anyways, the main effect is that when this card is destroyed by battle, you can destroy the monster destroyed it. Once per turn, you can also reveal Performapal or Azneyes, and then all cards with that name in their hand get their levels reduced by 1. So it lets you basically exceed or technically synchrone to other things. But the monkey is actually like the card that we actually want to talk about. Anyways, the monkey's main effect is that during your main phase, if this card was activated this turn, you could add one level 4 lower Performapal monster from your deck to your hand. They have a lot of insane searching, and obviously Pendulum decks are relatively strong already because they're free cards, and you gotta keep on bringing them back. And like, you could just crash the little turtle here, and then destroy anything that attacks it, and then it's gonna come back next turn. So Pendulum is definitely gonna be showing how much power creep is going to be existing in the game. Next up, we got a really good support card for the Melodious Divas. This is one card I think the deck really needed just to be like, oh, let me go ahead and summon Aria. But anyways, the main effect is that when this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon one Melodious monster from your deck except for herself. And there's no like level 4 or lower, it's just like, bam, get whatever you want. This card absolutely insane. I think Melodious Divas will be relatively good with Christia, because Christia is like the new like Jinn. A lot of people have been trying it in the Star Seraphs. I've seen a lot of it in Melodious Divas, but that's more relevant because all of them are pretty much fairies as of right now, unless they come out with some other ones. But this is the card that they really needed. I think they just really need something to get out Aria so they can stall and start causing problems. But this card absolutely makes the deck much better. So I remember I was talking to someone about Melodious Divas, and the deck wasn't really viable, but this will make the deck much, much better. Next up, we got some new ninjas. I don't know if this is going with the support of like the older ninjas, but nonetheless, new ninja support or a different version because they're called Twilight ninjas, I guess. Anyways, you can only use the second effect of Shingetsu, the Twilight ninja, once per turn. Your opponent cannot target any ninja monster you control for an attack or card effect. This card, if it's destroyed by battle or by your opponent's card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can add one ninja monster from your deck except for the same copy of itself. And I think this card is really good. I mean, Hanzo is still relatively strong with the Super Art of Transformation. I love that guy, but the ninja archetype never really had enough support. Again, I don't know if it's support the new ones, like the Twilight ninjas, or if it's supposed to support the older ones. Nonetheless, pretty cool cards. But we got another Twilight ninja. This is why I think it's like its own separate archetype, but Hanzo you can play. I believe Hanzo was dark. Anyways, level 8 with 2,000 attack, and you can tribute summon this card by tributing one ninja monster, but you can only use the effect of him once per turn. If this card is in face-up attack position, you can target 2 ninja monsters in your graveyard except for the same copy of itself, and you get change this card to defense position, you can summon those targets. That's an okay card, because I'm thinking you could just be like, oh, bam, rank 4 real quick. But the problem I have with this is it doesn't have the ability that you can tribute summon, special summon by tributing one. It just says you contribute to someone by tributing one. So that means something's going to have to survive. Nonetheless, it's an okay card. I don't really know if they're going to come out with other ones where you just like, oh, bam, special summon immediately. I remember there's like the Air Ninja, there was like an Air, Fire, Water. I don't remember if any of them just special summon themselves. I'm pretty sure there should be one that's like a Cyber Dragon. That would be kind of good, and it's just 2 ninja monsters, which I really like. It doesn't have to be, you know, rank 4, you know, a spam deck, but nonetheless, I mean, Satellars already outclassed that, but we all probably know Satellars will probably be hit because they did definitely do well. In Worlds. Anyways, we got the new Superheavy. Basically, they're adding pendulum support for a lot of archetypes. Superheavy is getting them. I don't really know how viable these are. I'm pretty sure that these still count as monsters in the graveyard, because a lot of the stuff makes it so you can't have spell cards in the graveyard. Nonetheless, its pendulum effect is that unless you have no spell and trap cards in your graveyard, the pendulum scale becomes 4. And then once per turn, when a super heavy samurai monster you control destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can have that monster make 1 more attack. And the deck can OTK pretty easy. You can do things with limiter that are really cheesy, and Giant Rat gets you like a massive beater. But its monster effect is that this card is always treated as a super heavy samurai card, and you can only use the monster effect of super heavyweight Sango, or this card once per turn. And if you have no spell and trap cards in your graveyard, you can tribute up to 2 super heavy samurai monsters to draw cards equal to the number of monsters you tributed. That's actually a pretty decent effect. Just any deck that has draw power is obviously good, or it's just, you know, decent at least. But this deck, or this archetype, really took off in the TCG. Anyways, they have more support. The General Hisui. And this card's pendulum effect is it can't be pendulum. You cannot pendulum summon monsters except for a heavyweight. I believe that's the effect with all of them. Where's this one? Never mind. This one does not have that effect. There was another one I remember seeing that had the same effect. It's like what are those, like the Cleese. But anyways, we're here for the monster effect. Well, I mean, the once per turn you target a super heavy one monster, it gains 1 level. That might be able to help out. But the monster effect is what you really are looking forward to. It's always treated as a super heavy samurai card, and then you contribute some of this card by treating one super heavy samurai monster. If this card was normal or special summon, you can change this card's battle position. It's got 28 attack, and this kind attack while in defense position, use the defense as attack. So it's 28, and it's got a scale of 1, and then we have the scale of 8. So basically, that lets you get out a lot of stuff. Now, this card over here is actually 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, yeah, it was 8. My eyes are pretty bad, but the picture is a little blurry here. But it is level 8, so it has to be in between. So there's way more pendulum support. I'm sure that they will change that. And also, there's one of the effects changes the level over here. Which one is it? Super heavyweight 7 monster you control, it gains 1 level. I'm thinking, I don't know if this was bad translation, but I thought they would be like, oh, you can like increase the level of pendulum scale. That would be, it would make much more sense, but nonetheless, I know there's other pendulum support for it, because like I said, there's other ones where you have to control like the same, you can only special summon the super heavy, or pendulum summon the super heavy samurai cards. Anyways, there's new zombie support. I like how these cards look. They look super, super cool. It's like, it reminds me like Virgil from DMC. But anyways, this is Shiranui. Probably pronouncing that wrong, but we're here for the effects anyway. So you can only use this effect once per turn. This card's in your graveyard, except during the turn it is sent to the graveyard. You basically banish it like a value, and you can target 1 non-tuner zombie type monster you control in your graveyard, and you banish both that target and this card from your graveyard. And if you do, special summon 1 zombie type synchro monster from your extra deck whose level is the same combined level. So basically, this and I don't know, Mizuki, this and like Zombie Master, pretty good stuff, because you're gonna be busting out this guy that is level 6. It's like basically made for it. I mean, you got the picture and the artwork over here. But anyways, this is Nagami over here. He's the synchro. So level 6 is a fire zombie, which is pretty interesting. That they're adding. I think these are something that has to do with like souls. I don't know. They look like you could see it in the background. But anyways, we're here for the effects, and it requires basically that guy plus, well, it's 1 zombie type tuner and 1 or more non-tuner zombie type monsters. You can only special 1 of them per turn, and it's once per turn during either player's turn. You can target 1 of your banished zombie type monsters and you need to shuffle into the deck. So you gotta reset your Mizukis and stuff. That's really good, or plague spreaders. And then if you do, change all monsters your opponent controls whose attack is lower than or equal to the attack of that monster to defense position. And if this card is banished, you get to target 1 monster your opponent controls and it loses 500 attack. A decent little effect here. One of the Psyframes, I believe, has a much better zombie engine, because it lets you target 1 of your banished ones and put it back into the graveyard. It's way, way, way better. It outclasses this card like 100%. Unless, of course, there's other support like this guy evolves like a second time or something like that. But they're showing off the card here. I don't think it's that great as of right now. I mean, it's just 2 cards though, so we'll have to wait and see what comes out in the future. Burning Abyss is now coming out into the OCG. So I know some of my viewers they only play in OCG, so you guys finally have access to the deck. It's just like the basic core of the Burning Abyss. I don't know if, I mean, they didn't show Dante here. I assume they're going to give you Dante, because if they only give you Virgil, not the best. I mean, it's still better than nothing, but like, you need Dante. Anyways, there's also the cards that came out in the Monarch structure deck. Highly recommend you guys to check that out if you guys haven't checked that out already. I did do a gameplay of this, and the deck is good. It has a lot of potential. It's going to be like a great structure deck. Because we haven't had a structure deck where you can pick up 3 and kind of be competitive with it in a long time, and I think this is going to be the next one. It doesn't come out till September in the OCG, so that means we might not get this till December, or maybe not even till 2016, but nonetheless, the Monarch stuff is actually pretty good. I'm just going to link you guys to the video, it's much better, but I'll briefly explain their effects. So, the main effect that this guy goes for is when you tribute summon him, you get to send 2 different Monarch spell and traps to the graveyard, and if you do, you get to special summon a Monarch with 24 or higher, well, it's 1 monster with 24 or higher attack and defense, but you return it to the hand during the end phase. That's actually pretty good. There's a lot more targets than just Monarchs, but generally it's going to be used on a Monarch deck. But then you bounce it back during the end phase, which is actually pretty nice. And then, if this card's in your hand during your opponent's main phase, you can banish 1 Monarch spell and trap card from your graveyard immediately after this effect resolves. Tribute summon this card. So maybe your opponent Castells one of your guys, and you're like, nope, I'm going to get out this guy. Pretty nice stuff. Next up, you have the, like, I'm going to call these, like, the mini ones. These mini Monarchs are much better than the Vassals. I remember the Vassals came out and people tried it out and they're like, it's not that great. I would agree with you. But these little Monarch guys make it so much better. So when this card is normal or special summon, which means like 1 for 1, more than likely, you can activate this effect. You cannot special summon from your extra deck from the rest of the turn, but usually you're not going to run an extra deck in Monarchs. You get to special summon from your deck 1 monster with 800 attack and 1000 defense, which is going to be the next, do they even show, they don't show the dark one. Okay, so the dark one is the card that you want to bring out with this guy, and then the dark one gets you an additional normal summon, so you can tribute immediately. And this card has another effect. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one of your banished Monarch spell and trap cards and you get to add it to your hand. Other cards, like you banish Monarch cards, search other cards, and do other shenanigans, or like special summon like a Monarch spell and trap. They don't reveal it here, but if you watch the video, you guys will see it. And this is the card that makes Monarch so much better. It is the DeeDee of the Monarchs, or DeeDee Monarchs. It's a normal spell card. You can only use a second effect of it once per turn, but anyways, you get to send 1 Monarch spell and trap card from your hand to the graveyard to draw 2 cards. Great effect. But the main effect that makes this even better, because that's just like, you know, draw power. That's great. But it's a plus when you get to go ahead and banish this card from graveyard, then reveal 3 Monarch spell and trap cards from your deck. Your opponent chooses 1 of them and you get to add it to your hand. What makes it so good is that you can just reveal 3 copies of the same one. So you bet, oh, triple Storm Forest, triple Tenacity. It doesn't really matter. You just go for triple Tenacity if you want to. Because the other ones go back into your deck anyways. Tenacity will search you out anything. So you just select 3 Tenacity. It's really kind of unfair. I feel like it should have said reveal 3 different Monarch spell and trap cards. But since you can search out 3 of the same one, your opponent doesn't really have a choice. It's real scumbag, but yeah, nonetheless. And obviously if you have one of them in your hand, you just, you know, activate it. So, Tenacity. Tenacity is the card that you're going to go for with this. It's really unfair, let's put it that way. But anyways, guys, let me know what you're most excited to actually see. Personally, for me, I find like the Pendulum decks to be like a little bit too strong. But you know what I'm really stoked to see? I want to see where they take the ninjas, because I think ninjas are really cool, because we have like a bunch of samurai. We have the Superheavy samurai, but I remember like Strike Ninja, that card looked really cool, but like we never really got a great ninjas. Hanzo was probably the best ninja that we ever got here in the game, but hopefully these Twilight ninjas will be kind of cool. I mean, it looks like you got lightsabers here, and they're definitely going to get much more support. I mean, when I'm looking at this, I'm like, this card is pretty good. It does go to defense mode, but they made a fact you could just basically get 2 ninjas out, and I know you can't get this in card itself, but they're going to be more ninjas, I guarantee you. But anyways, let me know, guys, what archetype are you most excited to see some more support for that we talked about in this video, or I guess just in general, and before everything becomes, I want Crystal Beast support. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. It's been your boy Will Smith, signing out.